Burritos, quesadillas. Send me the address. They take four. Yeah. Yeah, send me the address. That sounds good to me. All righty. Yeah. I'll send it to you right now. Thanks. Yeah.
Hello, guys. How are you? I hope everyone's doing okay. I'm gonna wait a little more for some more people to join. Let's wait a couple of minutes. We have 15 people here. And we can start with everything here. See who we have here. What's up, Ricky, Nando, everyone else? Thank you for coming in. We're going to talk a little about breakouts. We're going to talk a little about how do we find them. We're going to see some examples. Like today was a beautiful day to find them and see them. I think this is what we really do all the time, but like it's not a specific breakout. We only all the time looking for breakups and breakdowns. So I just want to go a little more into detail on the basics of it, and then just go through go to the examples and answer your questions on what you think um, you will need to be better identify them. How do we trade them? Should we be out? I would like to exchange opinions on those because I think every situation is a little bit different. So let's see if we have 20 people. Yeah, let's start, guys. It's 8:01. I'm gonna start right now with our presentation, and I'm gonna just minimize. So we're gonna start just talking a little bit for a couple of minutes about the what is a breakout, how does it work. We're gonna have a little kind of knowledge of how do we can identify it, what types are the entry strategies. So let's start with basic definition. I'm not going to go into deep because what we really need is to know how to see it on the chart. But I really like everyone to have a glimpse of what are they, how do they work. So a breakout, it's just a move above a significant level, a support of resistance. That's what we do. That's what we try to identify every day on every trade that we do. Try to anticipate a move and why. But the beauty about the breakouts is they're easier to see because we don't have to eventually just read the candles and see a lot of indicators. Like we can see a pattern. We can just see how they break up or down or sideways. Like there are so many different. I don't think it's just up or down. So the second point, which is fairly basic, is how we identify it. Like we have, like this is what we do again every day. We have to be know and be able to how to draw our support levels. Our price tends to find more supply and demand. We call it support and resistance, whatever. It's the same names for the same situations that we try to identify every day on every trade that we do. For day traders and longer time trades, like the only things like I will change my time frames, and then as I shown before, you see how you can find different types of trades for the opportunity that you're trying to take. The resistance levels is some way on how do we know where do we need to get out or where do we need to get in on those breakouts. So as I said, we're not trying to be really deep into any kind of definitions or all the math behind it. It's just how do we find these breakouts? How do we find them? So we have the volume confirmation. We can use our technical indicators too. On the volume confirmation side, we have just depending on which type of volume you use, we have little scripts. We have the volume charts underneath. You can use the RSI as a sort of indicator of where the move is. And some people don't know, but you can even draw trends on your volume charts on TOS. So you can see when there is a negative momentum compared with the positive momentum of the stock. So there's a couple of plays that we can do to how to identify it when these breakouts or breakups or downs happen. Then we have our technical indicators. Sometimes we don't only use levels, but we can use a breakout if we break up to our VWAP, if it breaks our 200 daily SMA, the 90 MA, SMA. Like there, we have so many that it's up to, in my opinion, to the trader and what do you feel more comfortable trading and visually what's the best solution for you. For example, I wanted to add the Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands are beautiful and awesome indicators, but sometimes for me, for example, they're a little bit overwhelming to have so many things on the chart. So I have the levels, I got my yesterday indicators, I got my trends, I got my levels, and then I have the oscillators. Sometimes it's just too much for me. So what I can do is in one of my little screens, I have two screens, and one of the little charts that I have on my screen, I can add or remove the Bollinger Bands as a reference of where we are if I want to trade a specific name. Uh, talk about some entry strategies. We always have the conservative approach, which is the one that I'm more linked towards, which is just wait for the breakout confirmation with a close above or below the key level. And now we're going to see that in some examples with how do you wait for a complete candle depending on which time frame again. Some people will trade in 1 hour because there are longer term traders and you have to see a whole 1 hour candle to hold certain level. Sometimes it's just in the 2 minutes, but we will see this on the examples and in actual charts. It's visually very nice to be able to identify them. And then we have the aggressive approach. The aggressive approach could be maybe something like what happened with Tesla today. Like if you knew that Tesla was going to break down today, and just when the market opened, you just jumped into those Tesla puts and waited for the movement to happen. That is a very aggressive move, but that's depending on your risk, your approach to the trade. So it's very interesting to see. On the risk management side, I always said that you gotta be able to know where you're gonna set up your losses. You have to be determined on what your tolerance is going to be for depending of the name. I have different tolerance depending on the names that I play. If I go into Apple, I always feel more comfortable playing Apple, and I can go bigger on my amount of contracts and the number of contracts that I buy compared with when I go to Nvidia, or if I'm trading SMCI or these names that they go crazy volatility. I grab 3 of them, 5, maybe one or two, but you got to be very careful to this. But again, this is not anything that it's different from what we have. It's just sort of the same. And as every trade, it doesn't matter if it's a breakout, if it's just a momentum trade, if it's a scalp, you have to set a target on where you're going to be exiting your trade. And if you're going to have certain time, like if you see that there are certain minutes or half an hour, 15 minutes that they're still not breaking certain trend or levels, you will have to be able to identify that we are not going to move it, and you got to be very careful on where you're going to go. Like I'd rather get out of a trade green before having a movement that is going to go against me. So this is pretty much all that I got on the fundamentals. I don't want to bother you with so much of this. So I'm just going to change my screen that I'm going to share, and I'm going to go to the samples that I have of this. So let's see what we got here. And now I can see the actual chart because I wasn't able to see the chat, guys. There we go. Rudy, how are you? What's up, guys? Everyone, it's the latest. Okay, we got JG. What's the difference between a stop and a stop limit on Thinkorswim? I'll let you know in a minute. Like the stop and the stop limit is just where when you open a stop, there is a market order that is going to get filled at a certain moment, and when you have a stop limit, it's going to be in a certain number exactly. So it's going to start to be in a specific amount. Are you all able to see? Are you able to see my screen, my AMD screen? Just please a thumbs up if you were able to see it. Yes, thank you, Rudy. All right, guys. fairly easy. I didn't, as I said, I didn't want to go into detail too much in the definitions and everything that you know. I'm gonna go for the bread and butter of what we do every day here. Like this is today. Look at this on the 5 minutes. We don't need to go any further to just to see. I'm gonna add a couple of days on my time frame here. I'm gonna go for 30 days so we can see a little more the move. And then look at what we got today here. Let's grab a 15 minutes chart, and I'm gonna add a couple of more days on the 15 minutes. I'm gonna have 90 days. And look what we got. Like this here, it's been where we have been trading for the last week. So what happened today? We had a breakout. We had a breakout. We went back down and we retested it, and now we're just above these blocks. I like to call it blocks. My blocks of trading. Blocks of trading are where we try to have a trend. We have this channel that we have, and all of a sudden we do have these moves. Sometimes people get crazy because we go just a little lower, and then we just go perfectly right at it again and again and again. This is just, I mean, it's great for scalping, but if you're trying to play for a longer term, there's not much to find here. Like you will see, you grab it here and here, and the whole week it hasn't moved that much, just from 182 to 174, not even a $10 move. But here it's where it gets interesting right now on AMD. We saw this huge move that almost into our next, resistance level. And are we holding? I want to see that we hold all the way into the pre-market and the on the aftermarket, and I want to see the pre-market holding or going above my next level, so that I can see that my trend it's gonna continue and I'm gonna have another move. And this is, I mean, people like to see it horizontally, but for me, for example, if I get out of this drawing and I see this trend line here, what I see visually is the same thing. I cannot draw the square this way, but it's the same thing. Look, we start up and down, up and down. Our trend. So you can call this like another block. It's an incline block, and then we're in the lower side of the trend on a new support level. So this will kind of guide me that I should be playing on the upside sometime tomorrow, but I don't have the full scope of the whole move, because I need to have a more of the information of what's going to happen on the pre-market, and we're going to have any more news. So this is key to be able to know what's going to happen. So I got, like, for example, I think Doku. You see how Doku is. Look where we are. Look how this is another breakout. We were just trading from here on this side, not going anywhere, and all of a sudden, huge breakout. So how do we know that we need to break it? Normally, you will have your all your levels drawn, and if you have your levels drawn here, you will know that we are breaking up, previous highs all the way up. Normally, we have like people will sell, and we had a pullback. We always have a pullback. We will have people on the lower time frames trying to jump in, trying to follow, trying to chase. But after that, we have a little pullback, then we have a huge pullback, and then we're trying to go again and again above that level. So that's another sample on how you can trade a little breakout. That was going to be included, as I said, on the little volume. You can see here, look, our RSI normally is going to jump out of our 70 level. That, for people who doesn't know how to use the RSI, this is a guide of where the chart is, and with respect of their average trading prices. So we are above certain 70%, or if we are below the 30, you will see these either blue or red lines up or below. So we will see kind of little moves, and this is normally by the hand of volume, and you see the volume chart just exploding in those on those candles. Another example that we can find about that was Tesla. Tesla has been, look, today, for example, look at this. We've been trading on Tesla from here all the way until today, like up or down the last couple of days. And today we have a breakdown. So break up, break out. This is another clearly breakdown that we had. And not only that, but it was really strong because we knew right at open, and I was explaining this to someone else before, we have the 20 daily SMA that we were breaking it out. And one of the ways that you can identify this is if we go into, you know, a higher time frame, look at the trend. We have this is how I like to draw them. And for me, these are the same breakouts and breakdowns. Like we will see the breakdown right here, and you'll see how we're just trading along this channel on the way down. But more importantly, we have the 20 daily SMA that we reached, and I would love to see Tesla trying to stay above the 20 SMA, but we haven't been able to do that. And Tesla has been a really weak name for the last whatever couple of weeks. But this is an interesting level because now if we go a little, if I zoom a little more, look, we're trying to resist the 20 SMA, 20 SMA, 20 SMA. We broke it today, but we reached back above it. So what's going to happen between here and the pre-market? We're going to see how this break down. It's going to consolidate, and now we're going to find resistance on our previous support, or are we going to break up, stay there, and then we're going to get back to the channel. So for purposes of day trading, look at the volume. Look at the volume, how crazy. And this is what I was telling you. You can draw here. We can see levels in the volume. I don't know if you knew this, but then I can compare volume lines with this push, and look at this volume, how crazy it was compared with previous ones. So it's really interesting how you can try to see how these breakups and breakdowns, breakouts in general happen. We can go to another level. I have this one I really like. I was trading Abercrombie and Fitch. Like, look at this. Look, this was a beauty of a trade that I was discussing with Ref, I think yesterday that I got in. We went down, and if you go to look at what happened on the 1 hour, we were up, down, and then all of a sudden we stayed during this sort of trend. We're trending, and on the 5 minutes, we have this huge breakout yesterday out of the level, and today, look how that trade went up and all the way down. And I got a trade that I got out of my swing here, and I was risky enough to wait for another entry on top of the 20 daily SMA, and I took it right here, and I swung that little contract to see where we go and if we're going to keep this trend going up. My confirmation was the candles. Like as soon as, like, if I break this level, like, look, I knew beforehand. Like, for example, I was on, look at Apple, how do we were on, for example, I'm going to take this off and look at this trend yesterday. We got this happening yesterday, right? And look at the confirmation. Look at the different confirmations that I was discussing with a member right now. I knew that I got the 20 SMA that we haven't been able to break up the 20 daily SMA. So that means I know that I need to have to push up. I need to break up and stay above it. Then if I go to a higher time frame, look at my trend. My purple trend is telling me that I was on the lower side of the trend and I broke it down. And as I was explaining, and this member, look at, if I go to the 1 hour, look at my yellow trend line. Apple, it's been downtrending. Look at the 4 hours. Look at this yellow line, how Apple has been just downtrending without breaking this. We look above here, but we didn't stay. We look above here, we didn't stay. So what my confirmation is, I got one confirmation here that I knew that I needed to jump into Apple puts today at the beginning, and that we were going to break down is break of the smaller time frame trend, hold and go back to the bigger time trend here, and we got a bounce on our daily SMA. So we got like 3 different confirmations that we were going to go down and then break the trend. And then from here, once we break, I know that I can move my stop loss right away into any positive price or value after my entry. So once you got in here, you could have even entered in this side here for a retest on a smaller time frame. You could have, if we got the 5 minutes here, you see that you got different entries here. You could have just grab it before the entry, after the entry, and then this is the confirmation that we are out of the breakout. We're just going to the next level, just completely away from it. So it's really interesting to see how we can find this. It's not, I don't find them to be really hard. It's all going to depend on how do you chart them. It's going to depend on how do you visually for you. It's going to make it a lot easier. So for you guys, I don't know if you have any questions for different names that you would like to see, but basically for me, I will start on the 4 hours because the daily is just too clustered. And I will try to see like where we have the repetition of prices bouncing up and down on the same level. So when you see these continuations, like look at, like, you want to see a funny charts. This I'll go with my blocks, for example, on NVIDIA. So I was explaining this member, and I'll add some days here. Let's add 30 days, and look how I can see, I chart even the blocks. I leave a block here, a block here. Now I will have to trade this block that we are here right now. Here, and now we're in within this block. So these are my levels right now. But the same thing that AMD was doing with NVIDIA is, look at how, look, we went above the RSI. Now we are consolidating on the price action. We are staying above the daily SMA. We're staying above my previously support level. So I want to see that in the pre-market on the tomorrow, we're going to break up somewhere around this area here on 905. If we stay above this area, I would possibly jump into calls at open if the first couple of candles are gonna let me know. Yeah, what are the indicators? What are the indicators? Well, everyone uses different ones. I use the for me, this is the 20 daily SMA. I can show them here. These are the indicators that I use. This is how my setup works. I got this. I got my opening range. I got my daily 50, 200, 20, and 100 SMAs, my buy and sell volume, and the RSI. That's all the things that I have. Yeah, that's what you like, Ref. That's why you got me on that XOM contract today. Beautiful. And what do you want me to share? You can add all of this. You can add all of this on the on your strategies. You just find them here. For the daily SMA, you just go daily, and you'll see it here, daily SMA, and then you can just set up the times. Like if you want to see the daily SMA, you will add it. For example, here, it will give you the 9, and if you go to this little wheel, you can just change the time frame here, 950. It's really easy to set up. Then just take it away, and I got all of this again. I'm using, can you share it? Look at the 5 minutes. I'm using the 7, 21, and 35. Yes. There's different people like to use the 9 and the 21 instead of the 10 and the 20. I've heard that before. I like the daily SMAs because what I normally do, guys, if you see my screen on this side, I like to see for more confirmation the 2 minutes. So I will split my screen like this, and this is my 2 minutes, and I get crazy here. This is like people like Rivers don't like to see it because it's too, it can get, if you can fake you out too easily, But when I'm looking on the normally in the 2 minutes is my resistance. Like I can see, look, resistance, 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 and down. This helped me to define if we're going up or down. How do I get the green and red? I do it myself. I draw every morning my levels, like I was sharing. I maximize my cells and I go with add a triangle. I add the triangle here. So I just put it here. And for a little trick, if you step on top of any of your lines or designs or indicators, you can just press spacebar and it will duplicate it, automatically duplicate it. And then just change the color. You duplicate it, change the color here, properties, go to color, red on top, and green at the bottom. And then I just use a little of transparency. And once I have them set, I just keep on moving them along the way of, for example, let me show you Apple. So if I go to my larger time frame at the 30 minutes, you see that I just keep just changing colors. So how do I change colors? Because every time the red becomes a new resistance, I just change it. So that happened here. This was green today because we were on top, and then I change it in the morning to red. And for me, visually works really well to know where I'm at. I don't like to see the one specific line if I'm going up or down. I'm visual, so I like to see, oh, red, we're going down, up, the green. What is my next resistance on my green side? I can just go here, move it up, and I know that my next one is going to be here, and then space, click, and I got it right here. Fairly easy. So those are the things that I really like to, that's how I like to set it up, and that's how the breakouts, in my opinion, are fairly easy to identify. I don't, for me, it's all about how do you chart them. On ANF, for example, it was really, look, this is a slower and less volatile name, but it look, we stay here. You knew after this that we're going to have some resistance here. It happened again. And then when you see, like we closed here, I was waiting this name to see if we're going to fill this gap. And that one happened. So grab a beautiful swing from Friday till here. And then I jump back in another one just to see if we were going to go back all the way here. Because normally we had a little gap, and gaps normally tend to fill the structure of the chart. So I want to see if somewhere around this area, this should go tomorrow. So that's something that I enjoy and try to search for those. Not necessarily all the gaps are filled, but normally structurally we try to find them. What other names do we want? Any names that you would like to see? Look at this is, for me, this is the same thing. Meta. Look, meta. This is my same break up or breakdown. We're waiting or looking for that breakout, but we're downtrending. I just color change this for yellow so I can differentiate a little better. And you see all my reds. Now this one, it's gonna become green because we moved a little higher, and from here I will just move my green here, and now I have my new levels of resistance. So I know if we're side trading or not, if I'm gonna search for another breakup here, because now for me this is my block of trading as far as I'm concerned. This is my score, this is my new trend, and now I'm gonna look for breakups or down. I don't like to trend in within these levels. I try not to grab anything within levels because I'm at risk or going any of these sides, and I'm in between those. For me, the RR on this, the ROI of grabbing this just to be stopped here, or grab it in the middle of the channel just to stop it here, it's not worth it as if I can grab it here and get out here, as happened last week. So this is more of of the trades that I like to take. So sometimes you'll see me really quiet. Like today, I didn't call. I was expecting Apple to see if it was going to go up or down here, and then it gave us a beautiful drop down, and it happened. Same thing with Meta. I was trading Meta with Rev today, and I had this Meta for today from Friday. I sold it right here, and then I thought that we were going to break up and wanted to grab calls to see if we were above. But that, I had an entry, an early entry. I was my strategy was wrong because I just wanted to go. I wanted to be the first one here. And look at my mistake. If you go to the 5 minutes, we just went here. I just jumped into it, and I didn't wait to see full candle bodies on top of this to go up. And this is the 20 daily SMA. So it was a huge resistance level that I didn't notice. And Rev grabbed puts here, and probably, I don't know if where he sold it, but he was right on point. So those are the type of trades that I'm looking to actually trade and to hold on these levels. Besides that, the entry strategies is going to depend on how early you would like to make. Like, we are trying to predict what's going to happen, but depending on your risk, as I did, I thought that this was going to make it, but then I know exactly where my stop loss is going to be. I put my stop loss on top of my green candle right here, 495, and I knew that this was my my level of risk. So I got out of my trade, and Rev got on his, and I didn't jump because I didn't want it to chase. But it gave multiple entries. For profit targets, on your breakouts is going to be the same. It's going to be your levels. If we go, let's see, Microsoft, we got other levels that we can see on higher time frames. Look at this breakout. We got this beautiful trend on Microsoft, and we have two. Look at this. This is something really nice. We can set up our channel right here, channel, and this is how I visualize my trades. Look, up and down. I know that I can trade up here. I know that I can get, if I go at the bottom of my trend, up, I gotta be careful. You're gonna break up here, but if I'm down, even though I'm still up in my trade, I gotta be careful for this. And look what happened exactly at the pre-market. Down, we broke that, and we started a new trend. And this new trend for me is another block, and then another breakout. Look, breakout, gap up. So how do you identify them? I just see where the breaks and on the retest of a resistance happen. Then I see where, if I see some, look at the volume, how it went from here to here, and then you will see it sometimes just like this. It just happened. It broke. So there are like a specific indicator. I will say, for me, the chart, I don't think there's a specific indicator for when breakouts come. They just come all of a sudden. Sometimes, like, we can identify that we have a break of the levels, but that is gonna go huge, like what happened, I think, a couple of days ago. Or look at this Microsoft breakdown. We have no clue. Like, we can just do a little trend like this from here to here, and then when they break down, we can just know that we have to trim here, we have to trim here, and then all of this is for free. Normally, everyone will take all their trades, or maybe just leave a couple of those all the way here, but we'll be out of that trade before, like, no one goes from the peak to the other peak of any of the time. You notice Empanda is trying to play ping pong very simply. Yeah, this is sort of like the way I see it. But as I said, visually, like, there's some people who uses the bubbles and the flow it's in within the chart and everything. I need to be very simple, and it needs to be visual for me, because I'm going to show you what I have on my other chart that I've shown before. If I go here, this is my other screen. So my other screen, I got sort of 4 active traders set up. So while I can do the study and analyze where the trend and where we're going on my left side, here I will go straight to where my like what I'm trading. So I can put my prices, I can see my stop losses, and I'll see different sections. You see that sometimes I grab 2 days to know where we are compared with yesterday. Sometimes I go deeper into the time frame. So there is a specific time frame. No, I like the 5 minutes and up, but me specifically, I got my setup divided with 2 minutes. I like the 2 minutes because it just gives me a little more. And as I said, this is not something that I advise. I like to have it this way, and I like to see like the advantage on the price movement before the 5 minutes. So I see where we're trending, but it can give you a lot of fake outs. But I go really deep into the try to see the wicks. So I go like this, and I will see, oh, look, we open here, 2 minutes, look where we open. I know that I can jump here for a little scalp here. I know that this is our break. I can jump here for a scalp. And I confirm on the other side of my screen with what's happening on the 5 minutes. So, but the smart thing to do will be have 5 minutes here and longer, like 30 minutes here, and you'll see how different your charts will be. And it depends also if you're playing a longer term or you're scalping. If I'm scalping, I rather see my trades like this. I rather have more information in a certain way, so I can go up and down and easily. But that's just a sample of how I like to do it. That's how I like to identify the breakouts. As I say, we don't need they don't need to be horizontal and just a trend. For me, this is a breakout. Yeah, right here, it's just breaking the trend. This one is breaking the trend. And if you go to more time frames, you will see tons of this. I think, what else do we have? I got let's see, what else do we got? Got the SPY. Look at this is my SPY charts. Look how I can get a little complicated visually for you guys, but I just leave them there for the sake of, look how, this is how I trade. Look at the bigger term, look at the trend on the SPY. If we go to the 1 hour, let's go to a 4 hour. 4 hours, and I'm gonna draw these lines here, here. This is the longer trend line, and I'm gonna put it in some fancy color like this. So now you see, look at the trend. This is what I'm watching on the 4 hours. You see, now let's go to the 1 hour and start getting crazy. Gets a little crazy, but look at how we're doing all the time breakouts. Look at this. Look how great. Look, break up. Look, break down. Again, trend, break up. Break up, break down. So I'm just guiding myself with these channels all the time where I can grab it. Once I have a break up and a retest, I'm up. We're going up. When I have another, look at this, the last one here, broke up, retest, and going up. So if you go to the 5 minutes, we see those even smaller trends like today, or this is Thursday, break up, stay above, break up, stay above, break down. So that's how I like to see it. It might be overwhelming for some people, but this is I go like from the bigger time frame trends to the daily time trends. And that's, for me, it's everything is breakout. Like look at today, like yesterday, what happened with the SPY on the pre-market, on the aftermarket. Aftermarket and pre-market, we got here, we got this. Oops, sorry. And look, we got from here to here, and then all of a sudden we broke it. Look at how cool. In the pre-market, it broke up, and we went right back at it. So what do we know about this is we went nowhere on that little look above, and actually this is the break that we needed to try to trade. And hopefully tomorrow we'll be above and back again. So this is more or less how I like to do it, guys. This is why I like. I think everything is a break up and a breakdown or a break somewhere. But this is how I visually like to do it. This is how I like to identify them. It's just a break on my chart is not for me. For example, I don't go into Greeks and theta and then let me see if I got my all my chain. It's just the chart. I'm just watching my chart, and if I see that it breaks up and it's holding a point that it tried to break previously, I just go back up, and then I see and I try to see if it's strong enough on the buyer side or on the sell side. So um, it looks simple. You get used to it. It takes time to know, because after that, after you know how to identify the trend, you need to know how to read the candles. I never really, I underestimated the importance of reading candles. I thought that it was only like green and red, and then and then after several errors and ports blown, etc., I understood that there is a why. When we have a break, we need to identify how strong the break is, and that's how why the candles help us know if this is strong enough or not. So I think Toasty and River, they have talked about candles. They have great lessons on the education tab. They're super important, guys. Don't underestimate the importance of like you get sort of used to reading the candles. I think like people would read music, that you will know automatically more or less after you get used to it. But if you don't, it's not only a red or a green color. You need to know what's the story that they're telling you, to mix that with your indicators and the trend that we're setting. So it's really important to, if we are looking to breakouts or breakups or downs, read the candles and know if we are really, like for example here, are we really, what is this telling us? Are we really breaking around here? Are we holding? Are we below our trend? So it's really important to see that, guys. And I think that's why trading, it looks very simple, like we're just following drawings. But every time that you see a little specific of why we're drawing everything that we draw, and why do you take, because after this, then you'll have to see why you take how many contracts for what movement you're trying to set, and why will you take it. And then everyone will have a different style. So how to personalize this style is where, that's when you come into this. But let's see how the futures are doing right now. Let's look at the NQ. Look at the NQ right now, for example. This is a great example for, look at how crazy my breaks are. I have a bigger trend and smaller trends. Here, I knew that it was going to break up. I didn't draw on this one. It went all the way down. Then I draw another trend line here because I knew that we were on the peak of this one and broke perfectly down. I could have taken it here, here, or here. And then up, 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 and then all within this, it's all a visual thing. This is like those sort of paintings that you need to set up. What would you like to see? What do you choose to see? And this is what the only thing that I'm watching right now on NQ. We're just side trading right now, and I'm waiting to see if we're gonna try to break up or trying to break down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times on the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the way up. So I'll be really careful. I want to see the NQ holding the 20 SMA and then try to look for another leg up for higher prices. But you got to be really careful with that, guys. But this is another, you see, same thing, break up, break out. They're just blocks. That's how I like to see it. And then if I see a change, I just move my trends in a certain way on how to see them. But it might look complicated for some of you, but this is because it's after the fact. But when we are on it, it's really easy. Like for example, today we go here, then I will draw this again, and I will see where we are with respect of this move tomorrow. And I want to see this holding, and then going up. And then I know that if we are somewhere around this area, I will take calls on the Qs for sure at open. to try to reach this level again, because I know that this is going to be a resistance. But then again, this is our we're trying to look for the bigger move, which is the breakout. And that's what happened. We see in the longer term, 4 hours. I'm going to grab a couple more days. 360 days. Let's see what we got here. You see, we're just upside, upside, upside. And here we have a break of the trend, a breakout. When we had this trend here, okay, let's put it again. Let's put it purple, really thick. What happened here? A breakout of the trend, and look where we got us. Toon, 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 toon. So it's I enjoy it. I don't know about you guys, but I really like sitting down and seeing all the and do my charts and be by myself. I do it every morning after the news. I watch a couple of newsletters. I read OOT newsletter of the week. I try to search for certain names that I like to follow, and I go through the basics. I will go through the ones that I have positions on, and NQ and the ES are always going to be. Look, I have another example of a break. Look at this breakout here. Before we were trending here, up and down. Even though we were trading, like we were scalping this. The bigger trend, we moved nowhere. Like from here to here, we did nothing. Just and now we had a really change in the trend. We moved up, and now we're trending downward. Again, another try to break, but nothing. Now we are kind of in this level, trying to see if we're going to move out of our new block. Here's our new block. What's happening? We'll see tomorrow if we're going to break down, up, what's going to happen. So if anyone have any questions, please let me know. If anyone would like to see any specific name, let me know, because this is more of the everyday trade on how do you set it up. So if you have specific questions, you can let me know, and we can try to search for more. And if you are in a trade, we can try to see if you're looking for any. But mostly this is how I do it. This is how I like to trade it. And as I said, there are just certain, we have to, the types of breakouts, we have to identify them. Then we have to know what strategy are we going to use. Are we going to go for a big move? Are we going to go for a risky move? Are we going to place a stop loss? Where are we going to put it? Are we going to determine what position size if this breaks up? Are we waiting for a huge move? Normally, another thing that I forgot to see, one of the things that like some traders use as a reference when they don't know what's going to happen after, like if this is the highest the market's been, what they do is they just see the amount of this move. If this was a 1.13 move, then I'll go from here to 1.13 move, and this will give me my next sort of range. So in any case, some people use the Fibonacci's, and some other people will see if we were trading in certain ranges. And let's see how this works out here. Look, from here to here, what do we got? 168. Yeah, different, a little different. But this is a way to calculate, calculate more or less where the next price sort of trend it's gonna be. So if you would like to draw your next level, it's gonna be, oh, sorry, I got little arrows instead of, it's gonna be somewhere around this area. So it's really interesting to do it that way. Let's look at V or ref. See what you got here, ref. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go to, I'm gonna start with a 4 hour. Look at that beauty. This is the trade on V. This is, look at that trend on V. Gonna go somewhere here. And I'm gonna go and do this. And separate here. Oopsie. Out, out, out. Here and here. And then I'm gonna go here, 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 and here. Here, and then let's see where are we on the 30 minutes. But look at this. Look where we are with a reference of the 20 SMA. I don't know about this one, Ref. What do you think? Looks doesn't want to hold on this area. 1 hour. I don't know. 4 hours. This looks like it's gonna be a nice. If it breaks this level down, it's gonna be a nice move on until here at least, and then we have this level here. This is what I think I would read on there, unless we bounce here and we try to go up to this level. Bounce. All right. Because you can also see this here. This is catchy. This is a tricky one because what about this again? I got this level here and we are here. So you can see this as a resistance too. Look, 1, 2, 3, sort of nothing here, nothing here. This is an interesting, this will be like meta. This will be like meta today. Like, I'm not fully convinced on where this is gonna go. I can move this to here, or I like it better here, and I'm in the middle of nowhere. So unless we break this level, I can catch it up down here, or if we are on top of it, we'll see it down. But that's a tricky one, and I won't expect Visa to break if it hasn't hold the 20 SMA. Probably it's gonna go lower, but this is no man's land for me on this little section here. So that's a good one. I mean, we can see how it plays out, but really tricky for the price action on these levels here. Let me see if I go to the 15 minutes. What do we got? Let me grab more days. 15 minutes. We got 90 days. Yeah. Oh, it has to be above 280 ref for grabbing calls and see the upside to our level here. We go here, here, here. Yeah. Yep. All right. This was a good one. Guys, if you have any questions, any more names that you would like to see, please let me know. If I don't know if this is going to be recorded, I don't know if it's going to be posted. I have to ask Archon if this little information about breakouts is going to be shared in the education tab. But if you have any other questions about how to chart to be able to see them, please let me know, because I really enjoy, the technical part of watching where we are, trying to follow indicators. It's and visually, as I said, I really like them to be clean, neat, and that it's kind of easier for me on the everyday trade to see what happens.
si, si la bandera no hay confirmación, la confirmación que él busca.